And Martine, you were saying, you know, you had someone who was a real hero for you in a similar situation.
Yeah, I mean, I was really lucky because so many times you hear people say, oh, nobody helped. But for me, I was walking, I lived in South Kensington at the time. I had a little flat there and I was all excited to be going to my friend's birthday party. And I was walking past the Natural History Museum, and as I went along, this four-wheel drive kind of came past me. It had foreign plates on it. And these tinted windows came down and there were like a gaggle of guys in there, and they were saying, you know, what they wanted to do to me, and then another one would do it, and then as I said, go away.
And it was violent. I mean, it was violent
sexual comments, and they were, as I went to say, like, just go away, one of them got hold of my coat collar.
Oh, no.
And I was kind of almost running with the car.
So it was still moving.
It was still moving, and I was worried that if I pulled away, if I stopped, that the wheels would go over my feet. And I was panicking so much, and I just thought, this is it. This is it. They're going to drag me into the car and then do whatever they're going to do with me. Next thing I know, this black cab just comes from nowhere and just pulls in front, stops, bang, literally in front of the car. I don't think he'd have cared if they'd have gone into the back of him. He came running round and he said, you stay there. He pushed me to one side and he got hold of the guy by the scruff of his neck and he just said, what on earth do you think you're playing at? You do not do that to anybody.
That's incredible.
And I was just like, oh, my God, thank you so much. He said, are you OK?
Did they just drive off?
They just drove off. Like hell for leather, and then he got me in the taxi and just said, listen, let's go. We went to a petrol garage, he got me a can of Coke, and I was shaking, I was literally just shaking, and he said, where's your party? And he took me there, and I said, thank you so much, can I pay you? He said, no, just have a lovely time. And he recognised me at the time. I was really well known, and he just said, have a lovely time, and please just make sure you get a car back, don't walk on your own at night. I know it's only round the corner, but please, you know. I went, don't worry, I will. And I just want to say, wherever you are, thank you so much. I never got to properly thank you.
A big shout out to all the black cabbies in London, because we hear stories. It's very similar to that all the time.
You're always safe in a black cab. Honestly, you really are.
No, it is very frightening. Actually, something like that. I mean, not as frightening as that, but I was very heavily pregnant actually. But the man in the van didn't know that, and I was at some traffic lights with one of those lanes that filters off. You know, so one light was red, and then this one going turn left went green, and literally, you know, half a second, because I hadn't pulled off. There's a man in a van. Hate to do the stereotype, but it was a man in a van. Did the whole on the horn, and so I drove off, and I just went like that in my window. I waved. Actually, I seriously did. I seriously just went, meaning like, sorry, you know, I'm on my way. Well, he might have thought I did something else. He came alongside me. It was like a dual carriageway thing. It was the most intimidating thing, and he was coming over the white line and shouting, screaming the worst abuse at me. And he couldn't see I was pregnant. I was so frightened. I thought he was going to push me off the road. And I remember looking at him thinking, you are a grown man, and this anger, his face was screwed up with anger, just because it would take me more than a second to pull away from the lights. What's the matter with people?
And it's not about that. It's about something else.
It's about something else.
That anger's not meant to come out. Or that behaviour doesn't come out just because of that, you know.
We've got some comments here, we've got one. Julie, I was on a packed tube many years ago when some guy's hand wandered where it shouldn't have. I grabbed his hand and yelled, who does this belong to, and screamed at him. Not one person intervened or asked if I was OK. That's a shame. I'd
People
always...
are frightened to intervene,
I would. I'd always intervene. Louise, a man was following me in his van while I was with my newborn down the road. He said, would I like another one of those? I was so shocked and embarrassed. I went into the shop. I heard him say, I'm a stuck-up tart, because I didn't react.
Oh, my God. You did intervene, didn't you?
Yeah, I did intervene. Well, it wasn't a sexual one, but I was driving down Upper Street one day and I saw this old lady running for the bus. She got there just as the driver shut the doors on it and just drove off. And so I put my foot down and followed him and screamed at him, I hope someone doesn't do that to your mother one day.